There is one thing certain. You can't fix stupid. What's up, everybody? Happy New Year. Welcome aboard. It is Bubba's Bottom Line, the first one of 2022. It is Sunday, January the 22nd. January 20 already. January the 2nd. And what's going on, everybody? Hope you had a great New Year. Hope everybody was safe, healthy, and it looks like a big year coming for us. And I'm excited for the new year to begin. It's always nice to go get out with the old and move on and see what you can get done. In the meantime, as I said, you can't fix stupid. But this update is being brought to you by our friends at the Capital Trading Group. And one of your New Year's resolutions should be to make sure you get with the right broker. I have many brokers, and I have the big names, as you know. But for my letter of direction trading, for my futures and commodities, there is nobody like the Capital Trading Group. Certainly, they've got, first of all, they handle all my accounts, number one. Number two, they are the only ones I've authorized for letter of direction trading. And number three, they've got some great products, and we've got some big plans for 2022. Check them out, info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. That is info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. And, you know, I'll tell you what, I guess the administration wants us all to be like President Biden senile, okay? Because I've never seen so many dumb things attempted in a year in my entire life. Now, I'm only 65, so, you know, we'll see. But, you know, we already know that they have dealt us in or painted us into a corner, okay? That we know is a fact, okay? Between the imbeciles at the Federal Reserve and the imbeciles in this administration, okay, they're never going to figure out without destroying all of us, okay, what to do about inflation, okay? Again, when you have a ignorant policy with your energy, and you take the price of crude oil, fossil fuels, and you double them or more than double in a year, okay, you create a much bigger problem. Okay. Now, again, I'm not against a great environment. We are already the greenest country in the world. But I think, again, you have to do things in steps, considering at what cost are we going to have to do this. And there's two solutions, basically, to satisfy inflation. Okay. And we've talked about this before, but it is a new year, so we're going to start the bandwagon again. And the number one is to reopen the fracking and the shale producing, become a net exporter of oil, tax the oil, make the profit on the oil, and have everybody happy and reduce the cost. Because everything you buy, whether it is used to make the product or it is used to ship it there, uses and consumes fossil fuels. Okay? Again, it doesn't get much simpler than that. You don't need a stupid-ass economist who knows nothing and refuses to change from their models, okay, that are 100 years old, of what the facts are. That's pretty simple, okay? Now, we know they're not going to do that, so the other choice, unfortunately, is the Fed is going to have to hike rates. Now, the hiking of rates, what will that do? Well, it'll slow down everything. It'll slow down spending, which means that we will then destroy our economy and have that major meltdown collapse, which, in my personal opinion, I believe this administration wants anyways. Okay, in my personal opinion, I think that's why President Biden reappointed Fed Chair Powell, because I think they'd love to see a major meltdown. Because I'm telling you, they're trying to get the universal basic income. Okay, so I think this is more of a grander scheme of ignorance. Okay, and so if they raise rates, it slows housing sales down. Now again, rates right now are the highest they've been in quite a while. In mortgage and things like that, but not enough to slow down. Remember, you still have a very big mass exodus from many of the high-taxed states. So you combine that. So if I'm paying an extra half a point, not the end of the world when I figure out the tax savings that I'm going to get. But, we've got a border crisis. Last year, we had over 2 million illegals come in that are now just scattered throughout the United States. Okay. Now, again, if you're in California and you like paying 66% of your budget to fund illegal aliens, if you like your hospitals being used as a doctor's office, which we get to pay for, then God bless. But to me, I think if you're going to come to this country, which we were all at one time, or most of us at one time were immigrants, some our families were, you come in the right way. Okay, and then you come in as a tax-paying citizen. We continue to hear this stupidity of tax the rich when we know one thing for sure. If it wasn't for the rich, okay, employing people, of course, getting them to go to work again, but if it wasn't for the rich employing people, we wouldn't have any tax base. Okay, now, again, you want to fix the taxes, fix the tax code, quit whining like a bunch of bitches that the rich don't pay the taxes. They pay every dime they have to pay based on the laws of the country, because if they didn't pay, they'd be in jail. Okay, so change the tax code, and you can change it. Talk to your buddy Warren Buffett, the big jackass, who complained for years about he wasn't paying enough tax. But of course, when you look at his payments, he makes $13 million a year, but he takes 12.9 in dividend income, which is taxed at a lower rate. So again, let's not think that we're full of ignorance and stupidity here. Okay. Bernie Sanders, he wants to pay the workers better. Listen, I've seen prices right now. I've seen, hourly wages at like McDonald's, $17 an hour, $20. I mean, and they're offering bonuses and perks. You want these companies to be in business, or do you want them to be busted? Okay. It's just not an arbitrary, business takes modeling and cost. Okay. So what are your costs? We're already seeing that half the fast food restaurants can't keep their dining rooms open because, of course, they have no help. Okay. No matter what they pay. But let's just keep giving away stimulus and benefits to the bums and that don't want to work, and you see where we get to. Okay. Everybody's got to do their part, and everybody can be successful, but you cannot do it if you continue to create an environment which makes it almost impossible to make a living. And Bernie Sanders, we know you got 6 houses. We know you never worked a day in your life, and you are the ultimate taker and maker of nothing. Okay? So, look, at the end of the day, I think this COVID testing has become a total crock of shit and a joke. Okay, look, I got no problem. You're going to meet with a group of people, then you could take a test. I did that for Christmas. Okay. However, okay, I mean, Walgreens gets tests in, they sell them out every day. If they get in 1,000, they sell 1,000. They get 10,000, they sell 10,000. Now, again, don't you think that's a little bit over the top? Okay, is the Omicron variant that big of a deal? Now, again, I don't know the answer. As I tell you, I'm not a scientist. I am not a virologist. Okay, but I've traveled for the last 3 years. I've traveled back and forth every 2 weeks on an airplane. I've played poker in a casino. I've been in a casino. I've been in a sports book. I've been all over the place, and I don't have it. I never got it. I'm not saying I can't get it, and maybe I did have it one day. Who knows? But at the end of the day, we just have to get through it and take it out of the political array, okay, and quit using it for ignorance to steal the innocent taxpayers' money, because that's what we have going forward is the continued stealing. Okay. And you want to talk about you can't fix stupid. Okay. Go listen to Kamala Harris talk about inflation. She stammered. It was a 1:51 interview, I think. And she stammered and stuttered for the first 1:40 and then said nothing in the last 10. Now, again, this is not me with an opinion. This is something that I listened to see what she would have to say about it. And she said nothing, which is what they always have to say is nothing. Okay. Because again, this is by far the worst administration that I have ever seen in my entire life. Okay. And I have voted on both sides. I voted for Clinton. Okay. I supported Hubert Humphrey. Okay. I don't have a party because we could never get a candidate of the party I'd like to be. But it was interesting. My son said to me at best, okay, my son obviously went to a liberal college because 99% of them are liberal colleges. And he said, I'm tired of being classified as one side or the other when I only care about my political views are one way, fiscally conservative, and my social views are another. And that's where we seem to lose track of everything. Is why can't we have why is social issues and certain things, and I'm not going to get into them, but so important as to how you vote. Okay, is it not that the country functions at the best of its ability? Is it not that the country should not to run at its most efficient, okay, and take care of the citizens versus classifying everybody to this or that? And if you're going to vote this way, you have to support that. I mean, this to me is another part of the bigger crisis, which will never be solved in my lifetime. Okay, I think we need term limits everywhere. I think that you've got, again, President Biden, not to pick on him, but he is so easy, but not to pick on him, but 47 years. What has he done in 47 years other than be one of the biggest racists that there is? Yet here we hear him talking about racism. Okay. I mean, what has Nancy Pelosi done other than raise money for the party? What has that jackass Mitch McConnell ever done? Okay. Again, you have to think about it again, I think the words logic are what we have to be thinking about. Okay. And logically, what have they done, okay, for any of us as citizens of the United States of America? I think that is something that you have to take bigger note of, okay, is what, and I think that is one of the reasons you're seeing the cryptos taking more hold, which we'll talk more about in our business section, and our market section, excuse me. And as you look at what's going on, you got to be scratching your head at the ignorance that we have to deal with on a daily basis. And of course, during the last week, unfortunately, we lost John Madden, which you'll hear about more of him in my commentary. Great coach, great guy. And Dan Reeves passed. A couple of, obviously a lot more, but those are two that were very recently, and Betty White, okay, who, listen, almost 100. So people gave her the curse. They put her on the cover before that she was 100, and of course she didn't make it. But sad, and always tough to lose great people. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horowitz. It is Sunday, January the 2nd, 2022. We're going to step out here for a break, excuse me, and be right back with our market report after the break. Well, kids, look at, as I talk to you, I share with you the people that support my show, okay, the vendors that support my show. And look, at the end of the day, it benefits you to check them out. Remember, I use every one of my vendors with the exception of one, and the reason I don't use the one is because I am not a farmer, okay? But these are all vetted by me. They are all used by me and almost everybody that is involved with me. And for equities and options brokerage, trade your brokerage. I mean, if you want to pay $10,000 a year when you could pay $120, that's kind of dumb if you ask me. I mean, look, you're entitled to trade whatever you want. I don't care. But certainly the money that you spend at other brokers when they're all the same, and they're all insured the same, is ridiculous. But check out Trade Your Brokerage. I mean, number one, $10 a month, flat. Number two, we've got their APIs, which allows us to automate our equity portfolios at no charge to you. Okay, hedgers pay a licensing fee because it's a class. But why wouldn't you want yourself automated for $10 a month? So, hey, it's always up to you. But check them out, try.trader.com/Bubba. That's try.trader.com/Bubba. And, gold and silver and platinum, physical metals. Look, as it turns out, we are long metals right now. But even when I'm short, I'm always long. Even when I'm short equities, I'm always long. Okay? And look, I think that buying physical metals in small quantities on a regular basis is a good habit to get into. Now, I do all my shopping at Strategic Wealth Preservation. And why? Because A, they do a great job. B, They're fair and they deliver and they do what they say they're going to do. Check them out. swpcayman.com/Bubba-Trading. That's swpcayman.com/Bubba-Trading. And farmers, check out Family Farms Group. Look, I wish they had one for me. They do all the minutia work that we don't want to do. Okay. It's familyfarmsgroup.com/Bubba-Trading. That's familyfarmsgroup.com/Bubba-Trading. And of course, our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba-Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba-Trading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and my market report. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, January the 2nd, 2022. It'd be long. I don't know how many mistakes I'm going to make before I get through all those. But in the meantime, this segment will be brought to you by our friends at Tradier. Again, I urge you to check them out at $10 a month. It's try.tradier.com/Bubba. That is try.tradier.com/Bubba. In the meantime, last week markets were higher. Friday they were ugly. But, again, you expect to see a little bit of selling overall. But, of course, as we said here, the volume would continue to dissipate. And it did. It was a pathetic end to pretty much of a rotten year. I mean, we had a rotten year. I don't hide. I'll show you anything. Okay. I had a bad year and it happens and I'm not going to complain or worry about it. I'm going to move on to this year because I think this year is going to be a monster. I think this year we're going to set records. That's in our portfolios, not in the markets. I don't know. I have any idea about the markets. I know what I think and I will share it with you. But in the meantime, last week you had, the Dow was, they were all indexes were higher. The Russell continues to be the struggler of the bunch. We're long them all with the exception of the Russell. Okay. And I think, again, I think that, we'll see this week what the volume looks like and if everybody's back in town and we start to see some real action. Because although we don't talk volume much because it really doesn't have anything to do with the algorithm, we do want to let you know that sometimes that bigger moves can happen when there is very, very light volume, which is indeed the case. But in the meantime, so we're long everything but the Russell. Okay. Gold and silver had the worst year. No, not necessarily, not in a down fashion, although they were lower on the year, but in a range-bound, ugly trade for the whole year. Okay, very narrow ranges for the year. Really sucked. We're long both gold and silver. We would be long platinum, except that it's not liquid enough. But the entire sector was like, we don't care about anything. The gold and silver are no longer of value at the moment. Now, again, I believe they do have value. They are a hard asset commodity, and they would be at some point maybe needed for a currency someday because, with Mexico announcing that they're going to have a digital coin shortly, okay, that means the rest are coming in, which we've talked about this for over a year right here, okay? And crude oil, again, we talked about this in the opening. I mean, crude oil was higher once again. It had a big sell-off on Friday, but not much of a surprise. All right, it's remember, the higher prices get, the more volatility. But if you ever want to make sure you understand, just measure it down to percentage move, and that will give you a much better handle. Don't get disturbed by the number. Look at the percentage. Okay. In the meantime, we're still long crude and have been so for a while. Natural gas, look, we got a mild winter. Natural gas has gotten pummeled. It's lost almost 50% of its value since October. Okay. Now, again, all that's telling us is that as long as there's not a cold snap, okay, and we stay mild, it's going to keep falling. Okay. Now, we're still short. Okay. Copper is started to resume up again, and we're long copper. Okay. And, again, we don't trade lumber because it's not liquid enough, but it is a bellwether, and that continues to go higher. And what those are really telling you is how bad the inflationary times that we're in are. Okay. The dollar, which we're going to reverse either tonight or tomorrow, depending on how you want to do it. But we're long dollars. We're going to be shorting the dollars, like I said, tonight or tomorrow. Okay. The dollar index, but remember, we're shorting it at a much higher level. It's in 95.50. We're closed on Friday. Okay. Bonds, we are short, and notes, we are long. Okay. And at the end of the day, okay, I believe that you're going to see much higher interest rates. I think they're both going to go lower. Okay. Because again, that's going to be one of the only salvations as how they're going to try to slow this inflation down. But we'll see. Again, I could be wrong. There's no guarantees. Okay. So we want to make sure, but certainly, again, we will trade in the models we trade, but you're going to see, and if interest rates go higher, it will be good for the bank stocks as well. In the grain markets, wheat had a horrible week, and we are short wheat. There's a lot, wheat's very political. Okay. If you go back to Marie Antoinette, let them eat cake. Okay. People want to eat bread. All right. And wheat, obviously the main component in bread, and what's going on in Russia and Ukraine is creating some problems in the wheat markets, even though nobody says that, but I'll say it. Okay. In the meantime, we are long corn and beans, and they were both pretty flat, but they were up much higher and really gave in at the end of the week. And the protein complex, we're long everything. Okay. And hogs are very high up here, and cattle's very high. I think we could see higher prices, but if the inflation continues, remember, the input cost for farmers continues to increase as well. So the prices have to naturally go up or they can't produce. Now, if we get much worse with oil or a couple other things, you could see less planting because, again, you really want to plant at a loss? Okay. And, of course, in the softs world, cotton is higher, we're long. Coffee was lower, we're short. Sugar was lower, we're short. Cocoa was higher, we were long. And OJ was higher, and we were long there as well. So we still have the commodity rally going on. And the cryptos, the Bitcoin, okay, we are still short. Now, it had a bad week. It's down around 45,000. But again, I believe they're real. As I tell you all the time, I do trade them. I trade them at the CME or through some of the ETFs. I own them through a wallet. Okay. Now, what I own through a wallet, if I lost it all tomorrow, I wouldn't lose any sleep. And I think that's the attitude that you have to take if you're going to get involved, is don't overindulge yourself into the space. I do believe it's real. And I think that the SEC, because the CFTC already stamped its approval a couple of years ago when they put out the Bitcoin future. The SEC, okay, which now is allowing ETFs and some options on ETFs, okay, is telling you that they're going to make it real. So they're going to figure out a way to tax it. And of course, be very careful. I've been a big proponent of the pot stocks over the years, and figuring that someday one of our leaders would finally federally legalize it because, listen, it's legal, I think, in 35 states. Okay. But I think what's going to happen, I think they're going to let these small companies burn out, okay, Tilray, Canopy, and all those, and let them go bust. And then you'll have in the big guys coming in to take our place. Constellation Brands, Altria, which is typical government. And, again, if you remember and think about this, the party in power is supposed to be for the little guy. They don't give a shit about the little guy. Okay. They're trying to wipe the little guy out. They're trying to make this socialism with the very rich who won't be affected and don't have any competition anymore, and the very poor who have to depend on the government for money. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Horowitz. We'll be going to step out here for a break and be right back with our commentary and our Sunday night football pick. Bubba's Bottom Line on Sunday, January the 2nd. Well, kids, again, obviously I've been talking a lot today, so I'm just going to run through these links real quick for you. Just check them out if you'd like to. I mean, they're our sponsors, and I vetted them all. I use them all. But Capital Trading Group, info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba, okay, or Strategic Wealth Preservation, swpcayman.com/Bubba-trading, or Family Farms Group to help the farmers. That's familyfarmsgroup.com/Bubba-trading, and of course our high school program at patreon.com/Bubba-trading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and my commentary, and of course my football pick. Welcome back. Here we are at Bubba's Bottom Line on the first Sunday of the year. Actually, it's the second day of the year, first weekend. And again, Happy New Year to everybody. And obviously, we had a tragedy with John Madden on his way to the doctor, dying. Okay. But I don't know if you realize what an icon this man was. And I'll get to my point about this in a minute. But, He was not a good player, but he was one of the best coaches, the highest winning percentage of any coach to ever win 100 games, a 700 or 600 percentage winning, 66 percentage winning over playoff teams. Okay, revised and rewrote the script on how to be a color commentator for 4 networks. Okay, built Fox he was one of the reasons Fox made it because of football. And of course, the biggest iconic game there is Madden football. Now, why they want to make John Madden and Madden into a racist, I will never know. Okay, it is as dumb can be. John Madden was not a racist. John Madden built a game that actually shows off the star power of everybody. Okay, and there is no racism to the game whatsoever. And I'm getting sick and tired of hearing about everybody. If you don't agree with me, you're a racist. You're this, you're that. John Madden was an icon. John Madden did the right thing all the time. And he came from the California area. He didn't come from, the wealthy part. And he was a man among men who was an icon who had 3 distinguished careers. And I think he's in the Hall of Fame as a coach. He's in the Hall of Fame as a broadcaster, and hopefully he'll get in the Hall of Fame for his Madden football. Okay, because everybody looks forward to that. And of course, this is Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, the 2nd of January. And of course, we have football tonight. Now, I can't really give an honest pick here, okay, because I'm in the circuit, I'm in the circuit, and I got a chance to cash, okay. And so the game is, Kirk Cousins is going to be out with COVID, okay, which the game went from 7 to 14. Okay. Now, I am taking, because it's contrary, and I'm only getting 7, although I should get 14, but I have to take a shot here that they can cover the 7. So I don't have an honest selection. My original selection was Minnesota until they didn't have a quarterback. Okay. So I don't have a real good opinion here, but I would certainly take the 14. It's going to be probably below 0, which would indicate maybe a little bit less scoring. That ball's going to be like a rock. So check it out. In the meantime, have a great weekend, everybody. Once again, Happy New Year. Let's make it a healthy, prosperous year. I think we're going to explode this year and have our biggest year ever. And in the meantime, we'll see you back here tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update. And until then, have a great day, everybody. Enjoy yourself, and we'll see you tomorrow.